Saskatoon man calls for change, what he wants to see at a busy intersection south of the city. The city deals with a stinky situation, why one business owner is upset over a lingering odor. And what one man on trial for human trafficking told court about the alleged victim.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. A Saskatoon man is thankful to be alive after a Thanksgiving collision south of the city. As Carla Shinkrick tells us, he's now taking action, starting a petition to make safety changes at the intersection near Grasswood Road.
The intersection.
Laurentius Jivelishin was driving south on Highway 11 October 13th, passing the intersection near Grasswood Road when he was hit by this eastbound SUV. The impact sent his car rolling 3 times, landing upside down. While he escaped without major injuries, he says the outcome could have been much worse, and he's now determined to make sure it doesn't happen to others.
I will do everything in my power to change the safety regulation on this intersection. It's not only for today, for us, it's also for tomorrow for our children.
Jivelishin, a pediatric intensive care doctor, says he treats children who have been injured in crashes, giving him even more motivation to push for change.
I have to take care of them after they come after such a critical accident. And in many situations, they are not as lucky as I am today.
Lindy Ooms drives this stretch of road often and passed by shortly after the crash.
I saw the car flipped over on the other side of the road. I saw there was glass everywhere and my heart just stopped.
She says this intersection is notoriously unsafe. It's support like this and accounts from others about safety here which pushed Jivelishin to start a petition asking for an overpass. The Ministry of Highways responded to CTV News saying it appreciates the concerns raised by the petition, adding measures have already been taken at this intersection, like speed being reduced to 100 from 110, north and southbound left turning lanes, acceleration lanes, intersection lighting, and 2 stop signs with flashing lights. It adds the ministry will continue to monitor this intersection for potential improvements. SGI, meanwhile, tells us that there were 11 collisions at this location from 2020 to 2024, about 2 a year. In those, 6 people were injured, no fatalities reported in that time. So Jivelishin tells me that he has a hard time driving on this stretch of road with the memory of that day still fresh in his mind, but he is hopeful that positive change is possible here. Carla Shinkrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A smell in Saskatoon's North End has one business owner upset, demanding the city address the issue. Hallie Manderg now on the stink that even officials agree needs to be fixed.
An odor in Saskatoon's Silverwood Heights neighborhood has one business owner calling for action from City Council.
Well, when customers do come and get a whiff of this, and it's like rotten eggs, and it's from the city's own sewer. It never was there until they built this facility. It needs to be moved. It needs to put some pipe in the ground, move it somewhere else.
That smell Hannonson is referring to is hydrogen sulfide, also known as H2S, from the city's Marquis Waste Facility. The city's director of water says the moisture required in the process of removing H2S is taking a toll on the facility's equipment.
They need to be wetted. They need to be wet to work effectively. That water, when it reacts and the bugs remove the hydrogen sulfide, creates a sulfuric acid. And what's happening is it's corroding the equipment, I think, more than perhaps the design firm anticipated, and that's causing mechanical problems for us.
Monroe says to mitigate the issue, the city is only running the facility at night and monitoring the HS2 sensors closely while it explores long-term solutions such as moving the facility above grade to allow for drainage into wastewater.
Wastewater has natural alkalinity that can help absorb some of that acid. So we're looking at some designs that would solve that sort of root issue because as those pumps fail in the bottom, water builds up, plugs and filters, the whole system doesn't work.
The estimated $1.4 million to fix this issue will be proposed in the upcoming city budget, but Hannonson says the issue requires a more immediate solution.
It is relevant. And the city knows, and they've been very polite in saying this, but this is going to take, if the city admits 2 to 3 years, you know it's going to take 5 to 10. and it should be addressed a lot faster.
Monroe says people can detect the odor at a very low level, and while the gas can cause harm in large amounts, the city is keeping a close eye on things.
24/7 by the control room at the wastewater treatment plant, and we will alarm at 10 parts per million. It won't be hazardous to health until about 100 parts per million, and we have procedures in place. There's also ventilation in there. It goes out of ventilation stack. Not ideal, but it does dilute it down to safe levels.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon murder trial is entering its third week, and today we heard from a key witness, a woman who was in the home at the time of the fatal shooting. CTV's Laura Woodward now on what she heard.
On the 11th day of Andrew Rosenfeld's second-degree murder trial, his aunt took the stand. Rosenfeld is accused of killing his 20-year-old girlfriend, Nikera Brown. She was found shot in the head at around 8 p.m. on November 15, 2022, inside the apartment she shared with Rosenfeld. Court heard Rosenfeld's aunt, Robin Vermette, also lived in the home. This was her room. Meanwhile, Rosenfeld and Brown used the living room as their makeshift bedroom. Earlier that evening, Vermette testified she could hear the couple yelling at each other and swearing, but didn't know what they were fighting about. When the Crown prosecutor asked if that was the first time she'd heard them fight, Vermette chuckled and said no. She estimated the couple argued about 4 days a week. Vermette testified she was in her bedroom with her cats when she heard a loud gunshot followed by her nephew screaming. Within minutes, she said about 10 police officers were inside her one-bedroom apartment. Police later found this gun tucked inside the box spring of the couple's bed. The trial is expected to continue on Wednesday. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Turning now to an ongoing human trafficking trial in Rosetown. The second of the two men accused in the case took the stand today, denying allegations that he exploited a woman from Bangladesh. CTV's Stacey Hine has the latest.
43-year-old Mohammed Massoum is on trial alongside co-accused Sohail Haider. In 2023, RCMP charged the men with human trafficking a Bangladeshi woman to work at restaurants in Gull Lake, Tisdale, and Elrose. Massoum also faces sexual assault charges. Earlier in the trial, the woman, who cannot be named because of a publication ban, testified she agreed to work at Massoum's restaurant for $1,000 a month. She said she was scheduled for 10-hour shifts 5 days a week, but often worked longer hours. The woman testified that one day, while they were alone in the restaurant, Massoum followed her into the cooler, hugged her from behind, and kissed her neck and shoulders. She said the next day, he took her for a drive, and then she said he sexually assaulted her. On the stand, Massoum testified he did not touch her and disputed the woman's account of the cooler incident, saying it was too small for two people to fit inside. He testified he never paid the woman because he said she was not employed at the restaurant. Massoum said Haider asked him to let the woman stay with his family for a few months. He told court she initially lived in his Tisdale apartment before moving into another unit he rented across the hall. He said he gave her $1,000 at Haider's request and said he later learned it was meant to help with immigration fees. Massoum has yet to be cross-examined. The trial continues Thursday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Rosetown.
The man accused of manslaughter in connection with the death of a woman shot on a highway near Weyburn was back in court today. Chris Fallman is charged with one count of manslaughter, along with 3 other charges in connection with 44-year-old Tanya Myers' death. Myers was in one of 2 vehicles hit by bullets on Highway 39 on September 12th. Fallman is scheduled for a bail hearing Thursday afternoon. Well, Jeff, not a bad day today. The sunshine was nice, but things are a little bit unsettled.
They are unsettled. We had ourselves another nice fall day. Temperatures nicely above seasonal values in most locations across Saskatchewan. And actually, tomorrow won't be too bad, but big changes are coming on Thursday. We're anticipating an Alberta Clipper developing on the east side of the Rockers. That's where they develop. Moving through Alberta, probably on Wednesday night, making its way into Saskatchewan on Thursday. And we could be looking at rain, snow, a rain-snow mix, and we'll talk about all of that later on.
Ukrainian students attending Saskatchewan universities are facing a massive tuition increase. They had been paying the same tuition as Canadian students, but they've been informed they'll be switching to international student rates in the near future. Wayne Mantika has more.
These Ukrainian students were shocked to receive an email from the University of Saskatchewan saying that their break on tuition will end in March.
I was absolutely devastated. I was hoping to build future in Canada, as I've mentioned earlier, and I was really upset. Me and many other students, my parents are worrying of how I can build my future here in Canada, contribute to this great country.
The provincial government had promised Ukrainian students that they would pay the same tuition as Canadians and refugees. That's about $8,000 per year. The international student rate that they are now facing is 5 times that.
People who flee the war typically don't have just $40,000 lying around. It's just not how it works. We're hoping that this government accepts the idea of continuing this program.
The NDP is asking that Ukrainian students continue to be treated as Saskatchewan residents.
Because Ukrainians are not considered refugees, they're being forced to pay this crazy amount of tuition.
The provincial government says about 26 students from Ukraine are receiving a tuition break at a cost to the province of $300,000 per year.
This program is in place till the end of March, and we're in November right now, so that's where this program is. And in the future there may be an extension or there may be a new program.
The provincial government recognizes that it made a commitment to Ukrainians who fled to Canada. It suggests that student concerns are premature and that discussions will take place with Ottawa, which is cost-sharing the tuition program. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The provincial government has introduced legislation to enforce child support across jurisdictions. The province says the changes also give separated families an additional tool to help enforce child support orders when one of the parties lives outside of Saskatchewan. That includes other countries through an international convention on family law and civil procedures, which 56 countries are a part of. In Canada, similar moves have already been made in Manitoba, Ontario, and BC. Saskatchewan is updating its defamation laws, replacing a law that's been in place since 1909. The Defamation Act replaces the former Libel and Slander Act with simplified and modernized rules to accommodate for new technology and ways of sharing information. Libel and slander are now both considered defamation for any written or spoken statements that harm someone's reputation. The changes include the removal of wording that refers specifically to newspapers, opening the door and empowering the court to make takedown orders when harmful online content circulates after initial publication. The province of Saskatchewan is creating a memorial emblem to honor public safety workers who die in the line of duty. The Saskatchewan Memorial Emblem will be made up of a medallion, a scroll, and a miniature pin to be worn by a family member or designated recipient of the fallen. A design for the emblem will be revealed at a later date along with criteria. The government says the award will complement a planned memorial on the legislative grounds.
And this is something that we can now pass on to the family. It will be tangible. It will be a point of remembrance across Canada.
The NDP says it will support the government initiative. The city of Saskatoon says efforts to make public transit safer are working. A report done by the city details what it calls negative interactions on transit buses. That includes people acting aggressively toward passengers and drivers. It also includes assaults, harassment, intoxication, as well as people being exposed to bodily fluids and passengers carrying weapons. The report suggests these incidents have been trending down over the last few months. The city says efforts by fire, community support workers, police, commissionaires, and Saskatoon Transit are all contributing to a safer experience. Residents in 3 Saskatchewan communities will have another option for a safe ride home this holiday season. Operation Red Nose will run between November 28th and December 31st. The service sees 3 volunteers help out per call. 1 volunteer drives your vehicle to a safe destination with a 2nd volunteer riding along acting as a navigation guide, while a 3rd follows in an escort vehicle to pick up the first 2. The service will again be available in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and the Battlefords. Although Operation Red Nose is free, donations are accepted and go back into local youth and amateur sports organizations. The preservation of Indigenous languages is being discussed at the 2025 Language Keepers Gathering. The event at Prairieland Park is put on each year by the Saskatchewan Indigenous Cultural Centre. It exists to preserve and protect the 8 language groups preserved in Saskatchewan: Plains Cree, Swampy Cree, Woodland Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, and Lakota. The conference unites elders, knowledge keepers, educators, and learners to participate in keynote speeches, workshops, and network with other leaders to help revitalize language. The event kicked off this morning with a keynote from President Darlene Brander.
What you're really seeing in action is the 8 different language groups of Saskatchewan coming together from the various communities in First Nations communities in Saskatchewan, coming together here in Saskatoon. And what it really means is that people are able to visit with community members, they're able to visit with friends, and they're able to meet new people that they're able to share their passion for language revitalization.
The 2-day event wraps up tomorrow afternoon. Telemiracle 50 is just a few months away, and today we learned what's being planned for the annual fundraiser. Organizers announcing this morning an expanded show for the 50th Telemiracle broadcast, which will start 2 hours earlier at 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 28th. The show will air live on CTV Saskatchewan from Prairieland Park and will welcome back longtime cast members Beverly Mahood, Brad Johnner, and Jeffrey Straker. There will also be a few new but familiar faces joining the cast.
We have Kate Burness, TSN broadcaster and Sports Center host. We have Sarah Lise MacArthur. People will know Sarah Lise, originally from Saskatchewan, from Outlander, Cafe Daughter, a lot of TV roles, so an actor and producer. We have JoJo Mason, originally from Saskatchewan, CCMA-nominated country artist, former junior hockey player, and from Saskatoon Morning House, we have Clayton Croker, who a lot of the Saskatoon folks will know, good man about town, longtime Kin supporter.
Since the start, Telemiracle has raised over $171 million for the Kinsman Foundation, which helps provide medical equipment for Saskatchewan residents. Telemiracle 50 runs February 28th to March 1st. And a reminder, nominations are open for the Saskatoon Citizen of the Year presented by CTV. The Citizen of the Year award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference in our community. To find out how to nominate that special someone, guides are available here at CTV Saskatoon or on our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th, and we will announce this year's recipient on December 31st. Still to come, Mark Carney delivers his first budget. How much red needs to be spilled to make Canada strong? Also, what has BC backtracking on some of its tough tariff talk? You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Now to the federal budget. It promises billions in spending, but also includes a growing deficit and plans to cut Canada's public service. Tonight, some are wondering why more concrete measures to help with the affordability crisis are missing from the Carney government's first budget.
Couldn't be prouder of my finance.
We're ready. Nearly 7 months after getting elected, the Carney government has dropped its first budget, a 406-page book it promises will build Canada strong. Over the next 5 years, Ottawa intends to spend $141 billion in new measures that they project will bring in $51.2 billion in savings. Together, those measures will take Canada's deficit to $78.3 billion this year, dropping to $56.6 billion by 2029-2030.
To weather the storm of uncertainty, we will not lower ourselves, Mr. Speaker. Quite the opposite. We will raise them to catch the winds of economic change.
One of the biggest expenditures, defense, with $81.8 billion in spending over 5 years. There's $20.4 billion for the military's recruitment and retention problems, $10.9 billion for upgrades, and $17.9 billion to expand new military capabilities, including procuring new armored vehicles.
It's a real big injection of money, but really interestingly, they don't provide any annual investment or expenditure total. There's no articulation of where year by year that would take us as a share of GDP.
There's also $51 billion over 10 years for a new Build Community Strong Fund to help fund new infrastructure projects, $1.7 billion for an international talent attraction strategy, and $13 billion over 5 years starting in 2025-2026 for Build Canada Homes. That includes $2.8 billion for Indigenous housing. One way Ottawa is bringing down the deficit through changes to the public service. Ottawa wants to shed 28,000 public sector jobs within the next 3 years through cuts, attrition, and a move to incentivize voluntary leave and early retirement. How much that alone will save and where the cuts are coming from is unclear. Ottawa is also hoping to save $60 billion over 5 years through modernization and government efficiencies.
To balance the budget this year, we'd have to eliminate vital social programs and all the capital investments needed for Canada's future. We chose a different path.
But aside from a promise to review bank fees and to automatically file taxes for lower-income Canadians, experts say there's little that will help with affordability.
I think if you're the average Canadian, you're looking at this budget, you're going to say, well, it doesn't change my life very much. You know, I'm concerned about affordability, I'm concerned about housing costs, and lots of concerns. It doesn't really address any of those things specifically.
Instead, many economists say the budget's aim is to create a better environment for business through measures like a so-called productivity super deduction.
This is a budget that focuses on capital investment. Because of the context that we are in right now, the economy is quite weak and is under attack because of the tariff issues, and we have a significant uncertainty in the Canadian economy, so businesses are not investing.
For the first time, the budget has been separated into capital investment and operational spending. By 2028-2029, this document anticipates that the operational budget will have a surplus of $1.7 billion. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now the question becomes, will this budget be enough to convince opposition members to support it, or will it and the government fall? Leaders from the other parties offered their first reactions following the tabling of the budget.
It was a very long speech, and given that this government is adding about $10 million to our national debt every single hour, I think we can say that while talk is cheap, it's very expensive when a Liberal finance minister does it.
Having met with our caucus tonight, we could vote in favor of this budget. This is a red conservative budget, which Mr. Harper might have signed. And there's nothing for Quebecers in there.
We're not telegraphing anything. I'm a Jack Layton, New Democrat. We came to Parliament to make Parliament work. We want to be propositional, and we want to give this budget the serious once-over that it deserves. And we want to consult with Canadians.
This budget is not about even sacrifices across our country. They're generational sacrifices. My grandchildren lose. This government has decided not even to mention our legally binding Paris targets and has jettisoned most climate programs, including the oil and gas cap.
The impact of U.S. tariffs is an underlying theme in Ottawa's budget today, and they've also been a major focus of Canada's premiers as questions continue to swirl about Ontario's anti-tariff ad, which scuttled trade talks with the U.S. Now BC is backtracking on its own ad campaign. CTV's Scott Hurst has more.
All of Canada's premiers have stood up and pushed back against the economic threats that are coming from the White House, notably saying, of course, that tariffs are not just bad for Canadians, but also bad for Americans and the American economy. Some premiers more forceful than others, some much more public than others. And specifically, we can talk about Ontario Premier Doug Ford spending millions of dollars to run ads in America. Now, as we know, getting under the skin of U.S. President Donald Trump, and in response, canceling trade talks between Washington and Ottawa. And while the ads have now been pulled, Ford is still defiant, doubling down on the successful impact of the ads, as he says, reaching so many Americans. Meanwhile, the Premier of British Columbia says his province has halted plans for a series of anti-tariff ads aimed at American audiences. Premier David Eby arguing the shift in strategy is to align the fight against tariffs with Ottawa with the feds, BC in particular, greatly impacted by softwood lumber tariffs. Here's more from both the Premier of Ontario and the Premier of British Columbia.
I'd never apologize to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's trying to destroy our province, destroy our country, steal manufacturing jobs and auto sector jobs.
So we've committed to the federal government that when the time comes to be speaking directly to Americans, we'll do it in partnership with them. We will not be running the ads by ourselves. We'll make sure that we're in line with strategy going forward.
Tariffs will also be front and center tomorrow at the U.S. Supreme Court, as it will specifically hear arguments on the fate of Donald Trump's so-called Liberation Day tariffs, which were announced with great fanfare earlier in the spring. Those are baseline duties on a whole host of countries, and the fentanyl-specific tariffs imposed on Canada, as Trump has invoked national emergency powers specifically to combat the flow of fentanyl he claims is flooding across our borders into the U.S. As the Trump administration argues, the tariffs are necessary, but bottom line for the Canadian economy and the industry is forced to pay. Regardless of the decision coming from the Supreme Court, it won't impact all tariffs imposed on this country. The targeted tariffs hammering Canada's steel sector, aluminum, autos, copper, and lumber, those will remain in place. Those are Trump's industry-specific tariffs, as the Trump administration is describing the hearing at the U.S. Supreme Court as a matter of national security. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
He served father and son U.S. presidents and was one of the most powerful second-in-commands in American history. Dick Cheney has died at the age of 84.
His unflinching leadership shaped many of the biggest moments in domestic and U.S. foreign policy for decades. Dick is going to be remembered as a towering figure who helped guide the course of history, certainly in Wyoming, and also in the United States, and of course around the world.
Cheney was vice president to George H.W. Bush before serving the same role in the administration of Bush's son. Today, George W. Bush said history will remember Cheney as among the finest public servants of his generation, a patriot who brought integrity, high intelligence, and seriousness of purpose to every position he held. Cheney also served as Secretary of Defense, state congressman, and White House Chief of Staff earlier in his career.
Hi, I'm Bede Hanley. On behalf of the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra, I would like to invite you to True North, a night celebrating Canadian music where I will be playing Gary Kulesh's Concerto for Oboe and Orchestra, written for me and the musicians of the Saskatoon Symphony Orchestra. This Saturday, November 8 at 7:30 at TCU Place. We would love it if you joined us. So, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, it'll be a bit on the cool side, Bede, but the good news is people will be indoors enjoying the music at the Saskatoon Symphony at TCU Place. But yes, let's take a look at those numbers specifically. When we roll up to Saturday, we're looking at -4 degrees for a daytime high. So yes, it's a cold day, even by November standards, about 4 degrees below. Now, I should say about 7 degrees below seasonal. Once again, you can get your tickets for the concert at saskatoonsymphony.org, and the concert starts at 7:30. Quick look at our current temperatures right now in Saskatoon. It is 1 degree. It's 2. Look at this. It's Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 1 in Saskatoon, 2 in Prince Albert, 3 in the Battlefords. And as you can see, the winds are still on the moderate side of the west or northwesterly winds. Now, on to Saskatoon's almanac. Well, we had a pretty warm day, all things considered equal. 7 degrees above seasonal, high of 10 degrees. 19, though. That was the record set in 1975, the record cold temperature. A chilly -21 in 1933. The sun came up at 8:07. And it went down at 5:33.
Coming up, mixing material to make art. The exhibit you won't be able to forget.
Watch MasterChef Canada tonight at 8 right here on CTV. Then join us tomorrow morning when Your Morning talks to the latest eliminated home cook about their journey.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Oh, flare in the lens. It's like a special movie, but that's a lovely shot there. And, you know, we've had ourselves a lovely day. Nice evening shaping up right now. And it looks like tomorrow's looking pretty good, too. We'll talk about that in just a second. But all in all, things are looking pretty cool. It's not just cool. It's going to be warm and wet out in British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest down to probably Northern California. A series of lows making their way across the Pacific and banging into the west coast of North America. And we anticipate places like Victoria getting a little less rain than Vancouver. Lower mainland and Vancouver expect to get a lot of rain, and the higher elevations dealing with some snow. Some of that low pressure situation is going to redevelop on the eastern side of the Rockies, and that's coming through as we make our way towards Thursday. And that is why we will be talking about snow. So 1 degree in Saskatoon, 2 in Prince Albert, and 3 in the Battlefords. The hot spot in the province, that was Last Mountain Regional Park at 11 degrees, -9. That was in Scott. Taking a look at the current temperatures across the province: 0 in Lloydminster, 4 in Swift Current, 1 in Regina, 2 in Yorkton and Estevan. A closer look at central parts of the province where temperatures are at 0 or above. Temperatures of 0 in Meadow Lake and Spiritwood, and getting up to 5 degrees in both Rosetown and Watrous. It's 3 in Hudson Bay and Kindersley and a few other places. Wynyard at 4. Up north, -4 in Stony Rapids and Collins Bay, -2 in Key Lake. 1 on the plus side for La Ronge and South End, 0 in Buffalo Narrows, 2 in Sandy Bay, Island Falls. Down south, no big breakout temperatures here. Temperatures ranging from 0 degrees in Coronach and Last Mountain up to 6 degrees in Leader. It's 2 in Carlisle, the same in Melville, 1 in East End. The Futurecast indicating, well, fairly quiet conditions until we get into tomorrow. And as you can start to see, some of that snow forming on the eastern side of the Rockies, and that low pressure area certainly going to be a weather maker, an Alberta clipper that will be coming through on Thursday for our region. La Ronge, 2 degrees overnight, or rather tomorrow, -6 for Stony Rapids, 2 in Buffalo Narrows, -2 in Key Lake. A mix of sky conditions in northern Saskatchewan, mainly cloudy skies for west central areas, but 4 degrees in Meadow Lake and Spiritwood, 8 in both Kindersley and Rosetown in the southwest, 9 degrees in Maple Creek and Leader, 8 in Outlook and Swift Current in the southeast. We've got ourselves mainly sunny skies in Yorkton, 5 degrees, but it's actually warmer, but with a bit more cloud for Regina and Estevan at 7 degrees, 8 for Moose Jaw, and east central Saskatchewan, a mix of sky conditions with temperatures basically hanging around 4 degrees. Now on to the details for the Battlefords. -9 overnight with clear skies, mainly cloudy skies on Wednesday, high of 5, and then there's that snow. 1 degree on Thursday, -6 on Friday, -4 on Saturday, -1 on Sunday, but jumping back up to, temperatures basically around 6 degrees, and that includes Remembrance Day. And we've got ourselves clear skies and -7 overnight for Prince Albert, 3 for a high tomorrow under mainly sunny skies, expecting snow on Thursday, and that snow might stick around at least until Sunday afternoon, maybe Monday, where we do anticipate temperatures on Monday and Tuesday of around 5 degrees. And then we've got ourselves -8 degrees with clear skies for Saskatoon, 6 degrees with mainly cloudy conditions on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, yes, we're expecting rain, snow mix. The yellowhead will sort of be like a dividing line between rain and snow, and we're right on the edge of that, of course. -3 on Friday, -4 on Saturday, -1 on Sunday, but back into plus temperatures, and significantly so on Monday and Tuesday. Saskatoon's The Sheepdogs are headed out on a Canadian tour with 3 stops in Saskatchewan. The band will play Saskatoon and Regina and Yorkton next April. They will perform at Coors Event Centre here in Saskatoon on April the 18th. Tickets go on sale Friday. Speaking of tours, AC/DC has announced new tour dates in Canada. The band kicked off its Power Up tour in Europe in 2024, and initially there was just 1 Canadian stop. That was in Vancouver. 21 new concert dates have been announced for 2026, including shows in Edmonton, Montreal, and Toronto in August and September. Tickets go on sale on Friday. And People magazine has named actor Jonathan Bailey as the sexiest man alive for 2025. Bailey's selection was announced last night on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Bailey called his selection the honor of a lifetime, as well as completely absurd. The 37-year-old is best known for his role on Netflix Bridgerton, as well as Prince Fiyero in Wicked. Bailey will be on the cover of People magazine, set to hit shelves on Friday.
I don't think they got your nomination, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Still in the...
Okay, just moving on.
All right, time for Pick of the Day.
Well, we have three, and we're going to start off with a nice night shot here. This comes to us from John, and a beautiful moon halo around the moon last night. A great way to frame it there, sort of in the tree branches there. So thank you, John. A great shot there. Next one comes to us from Jeanette. She took this on November 2nd, so just a couple of days ago. A beautiful break on our Sunday walk for a fall day in the city of Warman. We have some wonderful parks in our city. Well, you certainly do, and a great shot there of the trees that certainly show that it is fall and getting ready for winter. And finally from Scott, yes, indeed. My dad's birthday is on Tuesday, so in other words, today. Pat Smith will be 76. We love CTV, and Jeff, you are so funny. Sometimes. But we love watching you guys. Well, thank you, Scott. And we want to wish a happy birthday to Pat. And hope you're having a great day, Pat. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code on the screen, and you can send those pictures to us, and we will put some of them on the air. So we get a lot, so we can't put them all on the air. But thank you for submitting those photos.
Still to come on CTV News, taking street art indoors. We take you to a Canadian art exhibit that's all about mixed material. A new exhibit in Toronto is taking mixed street art inside, and as Jessica Smith shows us, the artist behind the work also included his love of Star Wars.
Taking the concept of street art indoors.
Once we had seen what this was turning into, I think it really dawned on us all that, wow, this is something that is truly special.
Forget About It is a new mixed material exhibit at the Tagliatelle Galleries in Toronto by Montreal-based artist Sticky Peaches, paying tribute to his Italian heritage, his parents' work as a tailor and seamstress, his love of Star Wars, and art.
But what's beautiful about this particular sculpture is how he's able to sort of capture his background, where he comes from.
They were coming to get suits measured for them, and I was playing with these Star Wars toys. So I just merged the two to kind of tell the story of, you know, what I was living through as a young boy.
The project was 3 years in the making and combines a variety of materials, including Carrara marble from Italy.
And he mentioned that he wanted to work with marble. So that was kind of the manifestation into the universe, into the type of project that we're presenting today.
Each piece designed to resonate with people for a different reason.
It has the three components that were really cool to me: my husband being Italian, my husband being a Star Wars fanatic, and the Carrara marble. You can't help but not be drawn to that piece of art.
Giving you something different to see each time you look.
The Forget About It exhibit is a mix of street art and the more refined pieces, and will be here for free to view at the Tagliatelle Gallery through to the end of November. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
When we come back, how one community is sharing a fall hunt, and later why one Jays fan has come out a true winner.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow. And temperatures are going to remain above seasonal for most locations. That's certainly true of Meadow Lake, Spiritwood, and Lloydminster, and significantly so. Look at that, Kindersley and Outlook at 8 degrees. Tomorrow we're looking at 3 for Melfort and Hudson Bay, 5 for Wynyard, mainly sunny conditions, 5 for Watrous as well. Down south, well, temperatures don't jump up a lot, but they do jump up. 9 degrees for Leader and Maple Creek tomorrow. It gets to about 7 in East End, Cypress Hills, Hills, Rockland, also at 7, 8 in Coronach, and 6 in a number of locations. You can certainly see that in Broadview, Carlisle, and Pilot Butte. And Kenora, 4 degrees. What about Hague? Well, we can tell you that Hague is going to get up to 3 degrees tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, not a particularly strong wind. So all in all, a pretty nice Wednesday shaping up in Hague. And Hague is where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. The Hunting Council on Littlebone First Nation is an initiative started to help feed the nation. Now the council has expanded, sharing their skills and traditions with the next generation, even donating some of their supply in the city of Yorkton. CTV's Frigita DeClute tells us more.
After a successful community hunt, Littlebone First Nation is welcoming band members for some mouth-watering homemade delicacies.
We have processed moose sausage, we have processed elk patties, and then elk roast, elk steaks, elk stew chunks, elk ground burger.
He says they follow ethical practices during the hunt. For example, they only harvest 1 moose.
This year we took a few groups of young men out, and a lot of them were able to harvest their first animals, but a part of our tradition is their first animal is meant to be given away and shared.
Upholding the tradition fed the First Nation just outside of Yorkton.
We hunted, gathered, things like that, and for them to offer wild meat after so many years of us living off reserve, it's a blessing for my family so that they have a taste of their culture and identity and living off Mother Earth.
Other than the 3,500 pounds of game meat, the Hunting Council is also distributing bread, gravy, corn, and potatoes. Among the helpers is the mayor of Yorkton.
It's been quite rare that there's any involvement with the city and with the First Nation here. So when Cameron and I were able to link up, I just thought this was a wonderful opportunity for me to come out and show support from Yorkton to the First Nation here.
Through Yorkton schools, the Littlebone Hunting Council also teaches students how to process game, so the tradition can continue on for generations to come. Frugina DeClute, CTV News, Littlebone First Nation.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon, $1.28 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.149. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco dropped $5.11 today, and Nutrien finished the day at $75.58. Coming up next, the light show that's lit up Egypt's night sky. Then the Jays fan that came out on top despite his team's big loss.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. Well, fireworks and drones lit up the night sky in Egypt over the weekend. To celebrate the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, drones formed images of Egyptian treasures like the throne of King Tut, the golden mask and coffin, and the ceremonial chariot. Also featured at the celebration was a laser and shadow show projected on the recently finished building.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Some of these drone shows are very, very impressive.
Yes, well coordinated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So. And I'm probably not the only one thinking of Steve Martin's big hit, King Tut.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm sure there's plenty of people thinking the exact thoughts you are.
Sure they are.
All right. Well, we all know that the Jays didn't win the World Series, but one lucky fan sure did, taking home the biggest 50-50 jackpot in baseball history. Eric from Oshawa, Ontario, won the grand prize of $25 million. The Jays Care Foundation announced the winner yesterday morning. The rest of the funds will go to support baseball programs for children in First Nations and Indigenous communities, as well as people with physical and cognitive disabilities. So a great cause, and that's a big win.
Oh, that's more than life-changing. That's generational changing.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
good for him. Eric with an A.
Eric with an A.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Very
there we
fancy.
go. Let's take a quick look at what we've got going on with our temperatures as we roll into tomorrow. So Wednesday, it's not going to be a windy Wednesday. Winds won't be much of a deal at all. But at 9 a.m., yeah, we've got some cold nights. I've noticed when I go out on my morning walks, like, yep, those are frozen puddles. And so minus 6 degrees at 9 a.m. By the time we get to noon, though, we're back to, where the things thaw and freeze, 0 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. And the sky skin conditions and wind speed all stays the same. And then for mid-afternoon, around 5 degrees and 4 degrees by 5 o'clock.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.